how women test you and how to handle it. In this video, you will learn what types of tests women give you and how to not only pass them, but how to master them, which means after they give you the test, attraction goes up. Because currently what's happening is women are testing you in these ways and attraction goes down, and then they lose interest in you. First of all, you have to understand that all women will eventually test you. The wrong women will test you way too much. But even the right ones will test you to make sure that you're actually a man worth investing in. If she can make you insecure or uncertain or emotionally reactive just by uttering a couple of words, why on earth should she invest her entire future into you? I would encourage you to understand that most congruence tests are not them being toxic, not them being unhealthy, but she's doing what she's evolutionarily been programmed to do to ensure that she will have genetically healthy children who have the highest probability of survival. Because if she ends up being with a tribal leader, which is ultimately what she's screening for, which is what all women want, then she has to have a mechanism to ensure that you're the type of guy. Because back in the day, there was one tribal leader. Now it's a little bit more difficult to think as much to ascertain who that actually is. So she's going off so-called honest signals. And if she kicks you in the balls, metaphorically speaking, and you don't pass that test, then she's going to lose interest and you're just going to find some other man who can. And so what do women actually do? Well, they could say, hey, look, you're actually kind of gay in your little finance bro jacket right there. Now, how would you fail a test like that? You become emotionally reactive. You justify yourself. You over-explain. That jacket looks gay. Ha ha, she says, smiley. Not hurt your feelings, but in a smiley way. And then you go, well, actually, excuse me, I'm not just straight, I'm super straight. How dare you? Right? Or you just make it serious. Say, hey, no, it's not that gay. Look, I thought it actually looks good. You know, gay people, they dress very differently. I don't do this. They do this. I don't do this. Well, you start justifying yourself and you lose. Bam, test failed. Now, what could you do to pass the test? You can say, listen, I tried jerking off to gay porn. It didn't work. Okay? Or like only on Tuesdays. Or wait until you see my other wardrobe. You'll take me to, you get the point, right? You accept and amplify the premise. You agree and exaggerate. You say yes and. That's a principle from stand-up comedy. We say yes and. The worst thing you can do is be emotionally reactive. That is in essence how you lose any test. You fail any congruence test, any so-called shit test by being emotionally reactive, by justifying yourself, by over-explaining yourself. What are other tests? For example, she looks at you at a date like, You say something. I really like iPhones. Or you say, Android users have failed in life. Ha. And she goes, If you then go, well, no, actually, I didn't mean it like that. Some Android users, they're actually very successful. Obviously, we know that there's people who are successful who are Android users, usually tech nerds, but it is true that on average, people with money prefer iPhones. That's just a statistical fact. If you start justifying yourself, you lose. If she looks at you like this, then you could just go, what the fuck is this? What's that eyebrow? What are you trying to tell me with that eyebrow? Like playful, teasy, challenging, a play fight. That is what's going to get her excited. Sometimes she may not say something, and it's a congruence test. Whenever, let's simplify this. I'm a fan of simplifying things because sometimes, not always, but sometimes simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Any behavior that you don't want in a woman can be considered a congruence test, except for those that are a clear sign of disinterest. If she rejects you, that's not a congruence test, that's a rejection and she doesn't want to talk to you. If she says, I don't like gingers, that is some girl who's emotionally extremely unstable may use this as a congruence test and she doesn't actually believe it, but that is so stupid that it at the very least signifies a lack of compatibility. You should just move on, okay? But if she's interested in you, then most behaviors, I'm trying to find a counterexample, are actually just a congruence test. Now, sometimes it can be an expression of an unmet need in a relationship. That's a bit different. Those are advanced relationship dynamics. But during the initial dating process, just think of it as a congruence test. Oh, it's a congruence test. Oh, it's a congruence test. Ah, it's a congruence test. Emotionally non-reactive. Accept and amplify. Be cool. Accept and amplify. Agree and exaggerate. You take the premise, you say yes and. You say, that joke wasn't funny. I thought it was. I've told it at my cousin's wedding 4 weeks ago and my aunt laughed. No? You say, it's okay, my parents never laughed about my jokes either. Haha. Yes and. And then boom, they start cracking up. You got to be able to make fun of yourself. In order to be able to pass these congruence tests, you really have to understand that you can't take yourself too serious. You got to be able to make fun of yourself. If you have this James Bond, suave, super cool image, here, look at my watch. Look at it. Look at the watch. Look at it. Look at my watch. Do you love me now? Are you going to suck it now? Suck it. Look at the watch. Look at it. If that's your whole game, then you're going to lose. Because there's always somebody with a more expensive watch. There's always somebody with a bigger house. And eventually, if she's the type of woman who responds to these status signals, she's going to jump ship and she'll be a girl who's extremely hypergamous and find somebody who outcompetes you in that particular domain. But if you become a source of positive emotions for her, and her giving a congruence test, her giving you a congruence test and you accept and amplifying the premise, you mastering it, bam, attraction goes up. Because you show her you don't care if you lose her. You have nothing to lose. You don't care if it works. You're not trying hard. That's the whole point. Understand this. If she's teasing you in any way, shape, or form, just understand, this is cool. This is a test. I don't care. I want you, but I don't need you. The guy who cares the least wins. It's true. She will love the guy the most who cares the least. Imagine two realities. This is your reality. This is her reality. Two conflicting frames. Are you going into her frame? Is she coming into your frame? Tony Robbins says, whoever is most certain, if there's a rapport, will always influence the other person. So understand that if you pass or master the congruence test, attraction goes up. If you become emotionally reactive, if you start justifying yourself, if you start explaining yourself or you backpedal, you lose. And if you're a man who's doing well in your career or your business and you want me to help you personally find the right girlfriend or wife, click the link below this video or in my bio and apply for a free initial consultation. During our call, we're going to sit down, map out a plan based on your individual situation that you can then either put into practice yourself or with our help. Either way, you have nothing to lose. Let's talk soon.